everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. In this week's vlog, I am heading out for my longest run in a long old while, over 6 months, and it's 26 kilometers. I'm in London today and I'm getting it done. It is a very, very rainy Saturday, but your skin's waterproof and the runs have to be done. No one's gonna do it for me. So I'm gonna head out, and throughout the run, I'm gonna talk about what motivates me, because I think I have to remind myself sometimes what motivates me to get out. And I know that I get asked this question all the time. How do you motivate yourself to go out for a run? And it feels like a day that it is pouring with rain and disgusting and I'd rather be in bed is the perfect day to remind myself and all of you guys why it is that I get out. So without further ado, let's get going. So disgusting out here. I'm just at the river, 10 minutes in, got Hammersmith Bridge behind me, and the rain has started hammering down again. It did say it was going to stop in an hour or two, but that keeps getting pushed back and back and back. So this is the perfect day to chat about motivation, because when you've got a 26k run or even a 5k run planned for this weather, it is horrific and really hard to get out sometimes. So the first thing, I think, we all know running is hard. It doesn't really get easier, you just get better and you get quicker, and you get better at pushing through it. But what I always remind myself is that I can do hard things. Just because it's difficult, it doesn't mean that I'm not capable of it. And that's one of the best life lessons that running can teach you, I think. Just because it's difficult, it doesn't mean you can't do it. So before I go for a run, I think, oh, this is going to be hard. I remind myself, I can do hard things. That's okay, I'm capable. And that shift in mindset often is what gets me out of the door in the first place. So yeah, that's my first tip. I just love seeing the number of runners that are out here. I mean, I like to get the trails to myself, but one of my favorite things about running is the community, and running in London, you definitely get a sense of that. No matter the weather, no matter where you are, there are always people out running. And I've been smiling and nodding at everyone that goes past, and I've had a mixed response so far, but a lot of smiles and nods back, which I think we're in a little secret club of crazy people who go running in the worst weather all week. But that's one other thing that motivates me, is the community. So it's not just about who you see on the street, it's about who you have in your life in general. And things like this, going out for a 26k run in the pouring rain, become a lot more normal. And when things become normalized, you just are much more likely to do them. And I surround myself by people that inspire me in different ways. It doesn't mean that they have to be amazing runners, but all of them are dedicated and they all have the same struggles as me, you know, not necessarily wanting to get out, being tired and busy, and it's horrible weather, but they do it anyway. And having that community just normalizes this sort of thing so much. It makes it that bit easier. So surround yourself by people who inspire you, and you'll slowly pick up on those habits too. Kilometers in, just crossing Barnes Bridge and about to start heading down to Richmond Park, which I haven't been to in so long. 10k in, about to go into Richmond Park, and the sun is this close to coming out. So the next thing that motivates me to get out the door is do exactly that. Just get out the door. It can feel so difficult to encourage yourself to go out for, you know, what you feel like is gonna be a really tough or really long run. But actually often it's actually just the leaving the house that's the hardest bit. So what I tell myself if I really don't fancy a run is that I will just leave the house, put all my gear on, get out the door, run 1 kilometer, and if I want to come back after 1 kilometer, I allow myself to do it. Because actually, what's stopping me going out is the idea of doing the whole run, not running itself. So rather than thinking about the end point, I just think about the first point, which is taking that first step out the door. And actually, unless I'm injured, I have never, ever come back after 1 kilometer. I always go on and do a little bit more because that getting out the door is by far the hardest bit. So don't put too much pressure on yourself to get to the end. Just take that first step. We have sunshine! 10 kilometers in, and I'm on Sawyer's Hill, and it is indeed a hill. Whew, windy as well. Perks of all that uphill, all this downhill. It's gorgeous. All right, next tip for motivation is to have a goal that you're excited about. I think there is something to be said for just running and exercising and moving your body for the sake of it, but if you want to run regularly, it really helps to have a goal, and not just any goal, not just a goal for the sake of it, a goal that genuinely gets you excited and maybe that little bit scared as well. Having one of those means that you feel both the need and the desire to get out, to basically take steps to get to that goal. And that leads me to the next thing, have a plan. I use the Runner app. It provides a kind of personalized, tailored training program for my marathon and previously for ultra marathons and also 10Ks that I've done. And by having a plan, I don't have to think about what I'm supposed to be doing every day. And sometimes the mental stress and strain of being like, am I doing the right thing? Should I go out today or should I rest? Sometimes that stops me going out at all. Whereas knowing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing every day really helps get me out the door. And it means that I can literally just go out, get it done, and that's that ticked off. And you also get the reward of having that little tick next to it. If you have a goal-oriented mindset, then that really helps. So yeah, have a goal that you're excited about and have a plan. She's gone rogue. She's found a trail and she's running on it. Oh my God, I'm gonna regret this. Wow, it is wet. Oh no! It is so slippery. Ah! I was supposed to be running along the road and I just couldn't bring myself to do it. But I think it might be a bit easier than this. Why am I like this? While I run along and try not to fall smack on my face, I'm listening to the audiobook The Perfect Medicine, which brings me to two pieces of motivation that get me out for the run. The first one is that I'm really excited to listen to my audiobooks. I'm excited to learn more, and I only listen to them when I'm running, which means that I always want to get out for a run because I want to hear what happens next, and that always gets me out. And then the next one is that I really want to be healthy into older age. I want to be healthy now, obviously, but mostly I want to be mobile and physically active. When I'm older, I want to be able to pick up kids if I have them, and I want to be able to run for the bus. And I know that physical activity is hard, but if it wasn't hard, it wouldn't be having the benefits. So, you know, like, there are loads and loads of different things of physical activity that you can do. It doesn't have to be running, but for me, running is sort of, it feels almost primal, and it is. You know, we evolved to be runners, long distance runners. And anyway, I just learned in my audiobook that inactivity is a bigger cause of death than obesity, diabetes, and smoking combined. And I don't want to die. I don't want to die young. I don't want to, even if I don't die young, I don't want to be unfit and unhealthy when I get older. And so having a good level of fitness is super important to me. Oh, my poor white shoes. Oh Christ, why did I do this? Ah, that is cold. Look at the squelchy. Gross. Oh, I got mud in there. Started raining again, and to my left here we have Beverley Brook. My surname is Beverley, so this always excites me a lot. So we have my next piece of motivation, and today is a good example of that, and that's to, oh, you are adorable, look at a little baby. That is to do a route that you're excited about, and that's not necessarily every single time you run. But if you have to do a longer run, go somewhere that you really want to go. I try to basically organize my routes depending on how I feel that day. So if I'm just bored of running in general and I just can't be bothered to go out, then I'll go to a really cool place or a new place, discover some new trails, and generally just try and have fun. Or if I feel like I can't be bothered to think of a new route, then I will just do a route that I feel really comfortable with, so that I can just switch off my brain and go out for a run and enjoy it without having to think about where I'm going. And I find like mixing it between those two then generally keeps me interested enough to keep excited about running. So yeah, travel somewhere you're excited to go, or just do a run that you feel so comfortable with you can just switch off and listen to an amazing audiobook or something. It's beautiful in here. Oh, it's really raining. What? Gross. 20k in, 5 to 6k to go. Let's go. Kilometers in and have just turned for home, so nearly there. I think I'll do just over 26k, which is not bad, and the sun has come out. I've got my last piece of motivation, the last thing that gets me out, and that is a very practical one, and it's knowing that I have the right kit, because especially a day like today where there's a hell of a lot of rain and there's mud out and you don't want to get wet, having a cap to keep the rain off my face, having a good waterproof to make sure that I don't freeze when it gets windy. And having a nice base layer that allows me to keep dry even when I'm sweating means that the run is only as uncomfortable as it absolutely has to be. Which I think, you know, running is hard enough without us wearing the wrong gear. And having the right gear makes such a big difference, especially when it comes to longer runs. And also you get that little bit of excitement, especially if you have a new bit of gear, trying it out on the run. All done. It says another fastest half. That's a nice surprise. And we've done 6:24 per kilometre, although I did pause it once or twice. And 26.63 kilometres. That is huge. That's so exciting. One of the things that got me excited and motivated to get out the door today was the curiosity of what my body could handle. And I think when you can't be positive about something, be curious. And that's one of my best catchphrases for life, because it is impossible to be excited about things all the time. And running sometimes does not excite me, but I am curious about what my body can do. I'm curious about how fast I can go, how far I can go. You know, the enjoyment that I can get out of something that I don't feel like I want to do. And yet every single time I go out, I feel so much better for it. And that interests me and it excites me. So that's the reason that I got out today. But I'd love to hear what motivates you to run. So if you put that down in the comments below, hopefully it'll help inspire some other people to get out there. At this time of year, spring is in the air, and that is another great motivating factor for me. I just love it, and the sun has finally come out, so I'm very happy about that. That is it for this week's vlog. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy it, please do give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. I will be back next week with more running content, and don't forget to put what motivates you down in the box below. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!